they come to church, great, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to share God's love. Third thing was to consider modernizing worship. And we'll talk some more about that as we get into the 3 to 5 year goals. And the fourth thrust was to involve the congregation. This was a ministry that we were all to share together. The council asked, per my recommendation, they asked that I go on retreat to pray through these and to bring recommendations then to the council and to you all. And so we've done that, and this is the result of those. I went on retreat on Thursday, August 30th. Did it here locally at the Wells Community Library. Spent the whole day in prayer and Bible study and reflection. I started with that text from Luke chapter 10, with Jesus sending out the 70. And as I prayed through that, thinking about our ministry and our mission here, some points became clear to me. Some key points. First of all, organizations all over the country have been doing mission statements now for decades. Every business you go into, every location, they have a mission statement. This is our mission. For us as a congregation, the mission statement's a little bit different. Because for most organizations, we're called to offer uncompromising excellent service to our customers or whatever it is. But it's about what we do, what we, the organization, does. The mission statement for a congregation is different. It's a faith statement. It's asking, where, God, are you working in our midst? And then how do we participate? So, the mission statement really isn't about us. It's about God. And then that implies, God calling us, okay, so where will we follow? So, I'll open it up here for a few moments. What is God doing here? What do you see God doing in our midst? What do you see?
Well, certainly preaching the word, hopefully.
God willing. God willing, Luther talked about, well, not Luther, Melanchthon actually, in the Augsburg Confession, that church is where the word is rightly preached and the sacraments are administered properly. So yeah, that's part of it. Through preaching. What else is God doing here in our midst?
Through 3 points.
Through 3 points. In what ways? You're absolutely right.
There's a lot of mission trips and stuff that who does takes it further.
Right. Exactly. They go out and do mission trips during the youth gathering this summer. They went and worked in a local elementary school in New Orleans, hosted a book fair there one day. Last year, they went down to Louisville, Kentucky to do various mission projects. Plus, I would say with our youth, we have a lot of kids who come to youth group who may not be active in one of the churches. It's opening up more. They're inviting their friends. And so friends would be brought into that, and that's exciting.
And they also do mission here locally. Yes, they do important mission trips in a lot of other areas, but they also do raking leaves for seniors. They're cleaning yards, picking up trash in the park. They do a lot of local service stuff too.
And then the pantry, Aussian food,
Yep.
Aussian
The Aussian Food Bank.
They also do the mission, the Angel Christmas project,
Yep. Which is coming back again this year, the Angel Tree Project.
And I think it's an important mission too that y'all point out that they're reaching kids and youth in the community, whether or not they end up coming to church, is the point that they're reaching others through their example and opening the door and saying, you have a friend, bring them along. And that's an opportunity to minister and witness to other people through action.
Right. Absolutely.
And then from what I heard, I've talked with someone, and they are going to join our church for the 3 points.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
we're having a few that are doing that.
Well, and that group is faith-based too. I mean, Erin does a great job in bringing in the text, the Bible, just that knowledge of the Bible study. I mean, it's the mission of that, but she's also wrapping in the work with it too.
So I think that helps them if they want to go out and do it.
Exactly, and it's in a fun way. Kids don't even know they're getting taught, because she says it so well.
Yeah. No question, I see God at work among our youth. I see God at work in wider ways as well. How about this incredible rummage sale we just had? You know, people were so generous in their donation there. And that's allowing the ladies to be able to support various ministries in different ways. You've all written checks in the past for the fish fry and for different types of ministries like that. As well as a shampooer, which our congregation needs for stewardship of our facilities, you know, to maintain our facilities. Other examples?
Christmas Bureau.
No, Christmas Bureau has been one, absolutely. You know, another one that crosses my mind has been, you know, last year's stewardship campaign, and the way that through you all, God provided resources to strengthen this ministry moving forward. That's huge. You know, you may not know this, but 10% of the monies we get in the offering plate goes beyond. You know, as a church, we say, how can we ask people to tithe if we don't tithe ourselves? And so it goes beyond to the synod and to the wider church for ministries like Lutheran Disaster Relief, like, oh my goodness, how many different ones? Like the seminaries, like the Lutheran colleges and universities, the camps, on and on and on. All these different ministries.
Well, I think, too, you know, our services change periodically, and I think that's a very important part. I think people keeps people interested in the service, and I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do want to change it from time to time, because otherwise it gets stale. I've many times, we've been praying the Lord's Prayer, and we get about to the middle of it, and I'm like, where to go? I've missed the first half of the prayer even as I've been saying it, because it's so repetitious. So yeah, that's part two.
So through our mentors.
What's that? Through our mentors. Good point. Through the wider community here within the church. That, you know, this is the influence that as adults you all are having on our kids. You may not realize sometimes just how profound it is. And I hope as well our kids are having a similar impact on us as adults. Think about Youth Sunday a couple of weeks ago, where they led all aspects of worship. How powerful was that? I was amazed. And Courtney preaching, I tell you, at her age, I would not have wanted to stand up in front of a congregation that knew me all my years growing up and try to preach. Oh my goodness. And it was fantastic. So. All right. I wanted to keep this mission statement simple. Ideally, I want it so that the kids that come up for children's sermon can memorize it. So they've got it down. And so the most important part of this is the very first part. Calvary Lutheran Church, where Jesus is at work. See the faith statement there? We're saying Jesus is working. Jesus is active. Jesus is busy. So it begs the question, how? How is Jesus at work? And what I finally, after prayerfully considering different possibilities, was kind of coming out of our worship structure. When we started worship, we have a gathering song. We gather together. And at the end, we have a sending song. We're sent. And so Jesus gathers us around his cross, which, by the way, is an interesting point, because this church, it struck me when I came here that we have a cross on the altar. The altar is out from the wall, and we have a cross on the altar. You'll almost never see that. You'll either, if there's a cross on the altar is back up against the wall, or there will be a cross behind it or above, hanging from the ceiling. There won't be one on the altar. That to me is powerful. Pastor King, when I came, said, I was like, that's kind of odd. We have it on there. He said, well, we gather around the cross. I was like, yeah, you got that right. That's powerful. Jesus gathers us around his cross. That's the first thing. Then, equipping us as his disciples. You know, things that we do not just in worship, but in our different teams and committees and youth group and these things are all about equipping us for ministry, for work that God calls us to do. Last week, 3 Points Youth got to help out at a 5K, 10K run up in Fort Wayne, the River City Rat Race. And we were there handing out water to runners as they came by. And some people had brought instruments to play, and we were cheering, and they took a couple of the empty water bottles and played with my drums, and that sort of thing. And it hit me. And it had hit me before, but it reinforced for me what a powerful metaphor that is for church. You know, people come in here exhausted. They are running and running and running in the